So it's come to this. I feel like I'm right back where I started my 60% keyboard journey. I've looked at a lot of different boards since that original Ducky One 2 mini video. So we're going to check out the pure white version together today. And I'm going to give you my up-to-date impressions and how I feel like the Ducky One 2 mini has continued to stack up against other competing 60% boards. You ready? Let's go. Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching BadSeed Tech, and today we're taking a look at the long-awaited Ducky One 2 Mini Pure White Edition. Now, for transparency, Ducky did actually send this board out for review, but you know the deal, it doesn't affect my review in any way, and that's a really important distinction for today's video because, spoiler alert, the One 2 Mini is still my favorite 60% production board. Now inside the box, you still get a lot for a retail of $99 from most switch types. You'll get a dust cover, a Ducky branded keycap puller, the all-white USB-C cable, you get 10 PBT accent keys and like this ice blue. Not sure if these are gonna go random or not on the caps, but I do know me and BT got the same color. You also get this really ornate Year of the Pig spacebar. The accent keys are not shine through, but the spacebar is. The spacebar also has a bit more of like a grippy texture to it than the stock spacebar. So the first thing I want to address with this board is the frame, because in my first video, my copy of my One 2 Mini had a lot of flex on the sides and it had a really annoying squeak on the side as well. It was an issue that got a lot of attention, and that sucked because I bought several One 2 Minis after the fact to use for giveaways or gifts for friends and family, and not a single one of those boards had that same issue that my original One 2 Mini did, which I did not give away, by the way. It's my board, I still have it on my desk, I use it every single day. So there are no frame issues at all with this copy either. The bottom portion feels a little more stout. On the top section, it will compress top and bottom with a little effort, and you can get the sides to flex with a lot of effort, but it doesn't squeak or anything. If not having an aluminum case is a deal breaker for you, just keep your eyes peeled for release information on the Ducky Mech Mini. It's going to be basically a One 2 Mini, but in a really solid aluminum frame. I don't have any details on release dates yet, but I'll keep you guys posted as we get closer to time. The frame on the Ducky actually offers two different levels of height adjust, which I really like. It does connect via USB-C, and it does have a 1000 Hertz polling rate. The case is white all over with matte on top and gloss on the lower portion. Keycaps here are seamless double shot PBT shine through with laser etched side legends. Switches on this one are Cherry MX Brown, but you can get the One 2 Mini with almost every variant of Cherry MX switch out there. Should be noted here too that the stabilizers on the Ducky board are the best in class on any of the production boards that I've tested so far. There's like this secret sauce with the Ducky One 2 Mini when it comes to typing feel. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to explain this. I don't know if it's the plastic they use on the case itself, if that absorbs some of the typing force, because the backplate, the actual key bed, is painted steel. Now on the topic of that key bed, it's also one of the reasons that the RGB pops so hard on the Ducky board since it reflects light so well. This is the same thing we see on the white Model O, and the fact that the keys in the entire frame are all white here really ramps up the RGB effect. It's the most bright and saturated RGB you're gonna find on a board. And talking about RGB, yes, there are a few modes you can pick from and you can adjust the speed up and down, but the question I get all the time is how do you adjust individual per key RGB on the Ducky board? So I'll show you real quick. So there's two layers, CM1 and CM2. You're gonna wanna hold Function, Alt, and Caps Lock for like 3 seconds until the color layers highlight. You'll then pick layer 1 or 2, and now when you hold Caps Lock, you'll see the Z, X, and C turn red, green, and blue. The color of the Caps Lock key is the color you've selected. So go ahead and do what you need to do to blend your colors to get what you want. You've got 10 levels on each key to mix and match. Now once you got your color picked, you just highlight the keys you wanna change to that color. If you wanna pick from a palette instead of dialing it in, you just hold down caps and hit spacebar, and then pick a color from the keyboard. When you've got everything sorted, hold caps lock and hit left shift to save. Now you can toggle CM1 and 2 layers on and off by holding Function and then G or B. Pro tip here, you may have noticed when you're changing the colors of your keys individually that you can't actually change the color of the caps lock key. This will be white when caps is activated or whatever color's on the main layer when it's not. So what you want to do is change the entire main layer to the single color that you want under your layer, and that will in effect be the color of your caps lock key. Pretty much everything I just said can be found in the manual on page 33 if you're reading in English, and I would highly encourage you to spend some time with the manual if you purchase this board, because the functionality and the layers with the Ducky Macro 2.0 system can get deep. I don't hardly use any of the additional modes, but you can set up a lot of additional functionality for stuff you use a lot, and there's even like some game modes baked in there. All right, let's talk value. If for some reason you're thinking about the 1-2 Mini and you still haven't bought one and you're looking at some of its competitors, here's a brutally honest take for you. Skip the Vortex Pok3r RGB. It's got a nice case, it's got floating switch design, it uses micro USB to connect, it's got ABS keycaps, the stabilizers are trash, and it's overpriced for what it is. Personally, I have my thoughts about the Amp Pro 2. The copy that I bought was not great. It had some issues. You can check out my full review if you want to. But a lot of people swear by this board, and I've been reassured recently that they continue to make improvements to the software, and it represents a really good value. And it seems to be a lot easier to get for people in other parts of the world. I'll give you that. But for me, end of the day, it's like this. Do you need your keyboard to be wireless? Get the Amp Pro 2. Do you need hot swap switches? If so, get the glorious GMMK Compact. Do you need dedicated arrow keys but also want the small form factor? Get the Mass Drop Alt, or a similar 65% design. If none of those three conditions apply to you, you know what switches you like, get the Ducky One 2 Mini. It's that easy. Personally, I use the Ducky One 2 Mini anytime I'm gaming. I do keep my Alt around because it makes a great board to test switches, and when I'm editing, I do like my dedicated arrows. And don't let the lack of dedicated arrow keys scare you or put you off. I did a video on how to use auto hotkey to script some arrows into the right shift cluster, but you can move your function key to the caps lock key using the dip switches under the board and use IJKL for your arrows. And it actually grows on you pretty fast. I've also been made aware of the fact that while I only use that auto hotkey script for actually writing scripts like the one you're listening to right now, it's my understanding that in certain games using auto hotkey may trigger its cheat protection, so do that at your own risk. Learning to use caps as your function key is a much better exercise. It makes it a lot easier to access all your secondary function keys, especially like delete on your backspace key. You even have mouse control on the board if you ever need it for some reason. There's really not much else to say here. Ducky's just out here like taking a victory lap with this pure white version. It's absolutely gorgeous. They really changed the game when it comes to what you could get for your money when the original 1-2 Mini launched. I don't know what the wait time is going to look like for these, but I'll say the same thing I said in the very first video. If there's a wait, if there's a pre-order, just pay your money, get in line, and wait it out. It's worth it. It looks like right now the next restock on this board is going to happen right around June 15, so not long at all. Big thanks to Ducky for sending this out for review. You guys really didn't have to do that. I would have bought it regardless. No affiliate link on this one, but I will include a link to mechanicalkeyboards.com down in the description if you're here in the States. And hey, maybe if, you guys want to send me one of those Frozen Llama editions, you know where to find me. Seriously, Google that if you haven't seen it yet. Mwah. Any questions on anything we talked about today, just hit me up in the comments or drop by the Discord and I'll do my best to get you fixed up. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.